ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንዴት ናችሁ? እሸቱ ነኝ የ11ኛ ክፍል ሂሳብ መምህር ከሉሲ ብሪጅ አካዳሚ። ዛሬ የምንማረው የ11ኛ ክፍል የመጀመሪያው ዩኒት የሆነውን relations and functions unit outcome. Okay, after the end of this unit you will be able to define different kinds. All right, ከዛ በፊት ግን ዌብሳይታችን lucybridgeacademy.com እየገባችሁ አጫጭር ኖቶችን ታገኛላችሁ፣ የፈተና ባንኮችን ታገኛላችሁ፣ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከ5 ቋንቋዎች በላይ መረዳት የሚችል የፐርሰናላይዝድ AI አሲስታንስ ፕላትፎርም ታገኛላችሁ። ስለዚህ አሁኑኑ ሰብስክራይብ ያደርጋችሁ ጆይን አድርጉ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ለሌሎች ተማሪዎች እንድንዳረስ የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችን ሰብስክራይብ አድርጉ፣ የቴሌግራም ቻናላችንም ተቀላቀሉ። Good, thank you. Now let me go to the unit learning outcomes. Okay, unit learning outcomes of relations and function. Okay, the first thing is generalize patterns using explicitly defined and recursively defined functions. Okay, we will use patterns, we will use sequences, okay, to define functions. We will see how to define functions recursively. All right, the next one is know the inverse of a given relation. All right, የሆነ ሪሌሽን ይኖረናል። ሪሌሽንን ከዚህ በፊት 10ኛ ክፍል ላይ ዲፋይን አድርጋችሁታል። ስለ ሪሌሽን you are familiar with the word relation. Okay, you know how to what do you mean by a relation? A relation is a set of ordered pairs. Yes, a set of ordered pairs. In that case, you know how to draw the graph of a relation, right? Now, in this unit, we will see the inverse of a given relation. Okay. ኢንቨርስ አንድን ሪሌሽን ኢንቨርስ ዲፋይን እናደርጋለን። የኢንቨርሱን again the inverse of a relation is again a relation እሱን በስፋት በደንብ እናያለን ማለት ነው። inverse of relation, inverse. Okay, now types of functions. Okay, as you remember on grade 10 there are 3 kinds of functions. Yes, 10ኛ ክፍል ላይ one-to-one function, on-to function እና one-to-one correspondence ወይም ደግሞ ኢንጀክቲቭ፣ ሰርጀክቲቭ እና ባይጀክቲቭ የሚሉትን ፋንክሽኖች ተምራቸዋል። እዚህ ጋር ደግሞ 11ኛ ክፍል ላይ የፋንክሽን አይነቶች ፓወር ፋንክሽን፣ አብሶሉት ቫልዩ ኦር ሞጁለስ ፋንክሽን፣ አብሶሉት ቫልዩ ፋንክሽን፣ ፓወር ፋንክሽን፣ ሲግነም ፋንክሽን ኦር again ፍሎር ፋንክሽን ኦር the greatest integer function እነዚህን የፋንክሽን አይነቶች በስፋት በደንብ እናያለን ማለት ነው። ፓወር ፋንክሽን ምን ማለት ነው? ኦኬ፣ ፍሎር ፋንክሽን ምን ማለት ነው? ወይም the greatest integer function ማለት ምን ማለት ነው? ሲግነም ፋንክሽን ምንድነው? እንዴት ዲፋይን እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው። እነኚህን በስፋት እናያለን። we call them types of functions and recognize these types of functions recognize real valued functions. Whenever we talk about a function we can find the real value. Okay, for a given x we can find the functional value. All right, not only one x value. x value ሲሰጠን f of x value ስንፈልግ that is we call it functional value. All right, x value real number ሊሆን ይችላል፣ የተወሰነ set of numbers ሊሆን ይችላል. We can find the functional value, real value functions. Okay, or we use real numbers. Right, real numbers to when we use a real number or if our domain is real number for a given function we call it real value function. Now how to find the composition of functions? Okay, again we will see the composition of 2 or more functions. You know what composition means? Fog, golf and so on. For example, fog of x. Okay, this means f of u of x. This is a composition of f and g, f circle g. All right, we call this is composition of function. We will compose different kinds of functions. We can take the composition of 2 or more functions. Recognize inverse of a function. Yeah, we will see again the inverse of a function. Okay, as we have seen the inverse of a relation, again we will see the inverse of a function because a function is a special type of relation. So we will discuss about the inverse of a given function. The next one is sketch the graph of inverse functions. Yes, so we may have a function and we may be asked to find the inverse of the function, to find the graph of the inverse of the given function. Okay, ኢንቨርሱን እንፈልጋለን። የኢንቨርሱ እንደገና ፈንክሽን ከሆነ የዛው ፈንክሽን ግራፍ ደግሞ ድሮው እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው። therefore we can draw the graph of inverse function. Okay, as we know, there are different kinds of functions. Okay, and they do have different kind of graph. All right, so we will see how to find the inverse of the graph of a relation and a function. Okay, understand how to apply relations in function in real life situation is the main thing. የምናውቀውን ፋንክሽንን እና ሪሌሽንን ተጠቅመን ሪል ላይፍ የሆኑ ፕሮብለሞችን ሶልቭ እናደርጋለን። we will see different practical problems that can be solved by using functions and relations. Okay, so this is all about the unit learning outcomes, okay, or the introduction of these units. All right, what are they? Just we have to know inverse of a relation, types of functions. There are different kinds of functions. Okay, different kinds of functions: power function, absolute value function, signum function, floor function. We will see this function. Again, we will see the graph of these functions, and again we will see the composition of functions. We can compose two or more functions, and we will see the inverse of the given function, and we will sketch the graph of a function and their inverse. Okay, we will draw the graph of the inverse of a given function, and again we will see how to apply functions and relations using. We will see how to solve practical problems using functions and relations. Okay, functions and relations are very important to solve our practical problems, right? Our day-to-day problems. Okay, this is all for today. ለዛሬ እዚህ ጋር እንጨርሳለን። ታዲያ ዌብሳይታችን lucybridgeacademy.com በመግባት አጫጭር ኖቶችን፣ የተለያዩ የጥያቄ ባንኮችን ታገኛላችሁ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከ5 በላይ ቋንቋዎችን መረዳት የሚችል የፐርሰናላይዝድ AI አሲስታንስ ፕላትፎርም አለ። አሁኑኑ ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ጆይን አድርጉ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ የቴሌግራም ቻናላችንና የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችን መቀላቀላችሁንና ሰብስክራይብ ማድረጋችሁን አትርሱ። ለዛሬ እዚህ ጋር ሰናበታችኋለሁ። እሸቱ ነበርኩ። ሰላም ሁኑ።